How's it going, everybody? Let me adjust here. Coach Eric here, also known as the Tumble Chef. Tumble Chef, also known as Coach Eric, and I am coming live from my hotel in Iowa, getting ready for my clinics tomorrow. And I wanted to get on here, and like I said, I'll start doing these more often on YouTube. But one of the things that I hear quite frequently, actually, is I hear people talk about how afraid they are. Like, I'm afraid to do this, and I can't do this, and I don't trust myself here. And I hear all these things, and it sucks when you hear it in the industry that I work in, you hear it in tumbling, but then I start realizing it more and more that it's not just in tumbling, it's in life, man. Everybody is afraid. Nobody trusts themselves. And if you don't trust yourself, how can you truly trust other people, right? If you don't love yourself, how can you love other people? At least love them the way that they need to be loved. What is your idea of love if the way that you see yourself is one of distrust and insecurity, right? So I wanted to get on here and talk about the fact that confidence comes from preparation, right? I believe that confidence is, or building confidence is like building muscle, right? And if you know anything about muscle, the only way that you can build muscle is by keeping that muscle under tension, right? So if I want to build my confidence, I want to build my trust in myself, I have to work on it. I have to keep working at it. I have to put that skill under tension, right? And one of the things that I was talking about on TikTok earlier was I was telling athletes to start looking at their skills, and let's go beyond just tumbling. Look at your skills, look at your accomplishments, your aspirations, whatever it is. Look at it like a test, right? And we all have failed tests, we passed tests and things of that nature. But I know for me personally, when I studied for a test, I felt more confident going in. Not saying that I necessarily passed the test, but by studying, I felt more confident going into the attempt at passing. Whereas when I didn't study, I didn't feel as confident. Even though I may pass the test in that regard. Oh, can you hear me now? And I appreciate you letting me know because I can't tell at all. But even in my attempt from not studying, I feel less confident, which makes me less liable to go all out, right? And with that being said, what I'm trying to get people to do is stop getting so caught up in the end goal, the result of, and really start embracing the journeys, man. Start embracing the lead up to it. Because in most cases, there's going to be more learned, more gained from the journey, the lead up, than it's going to be from the destination. But since we get so caught up in rewards and trophies and what we get at the end, that we can't even appreciate what we did to get there, right? Who we became by doing the things necessary to get there. So when I talk to people about building confidence, when I talk to people about building themselves, I'm talking about preparing yourself for the goods and the bads, preparing yourself for all of it. And that can only come if you're preparing yourself, right? So if I'm in a situation where I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I'm trying to become that, there's a certain level of preparation that needs to take place. I should be preparing myself to be the best at what I do, being the best version of myself well before I ever become that person. Because then I become better at it and also better for it. That's why I try to tell people it's not that you lost a skill or you lost your way, you lost your confidence in that skill. You lost your belief that you had the ability to do that thing. And the only way to regain that ability is by spending time working on the movements of that ability, working on the movements of that skill. You know what I'm saying? I think all of those things are super necessary as we attempt to, I think, progress in our lives, right? And what we have to understand is, and it's different when you're a teenager, right? Like when you're younger, your body's changing because you're growing pretty significantly height-wise. hormonally as you get older. Like, so like for the first probably, let's say 21 to 25 years of your life, your body's going to change drastically, right? Over and over. And then after you get to 25, you may not be growing in height anymore, but you have to eat differently because your body changes width-wise, but also your mental capacity changes, your wants. The things that you want at 25 and up usually are different than the things that you wanted or that entertains you from 25 and below. So if you're changing mentally and you're changing biologically, you have to continually be changing the way that you prepare, but also constantly be preparing, because you can't go into a new situation with the old frame of thought. Just like you can get a skill, you can learn how to do a skill when you're 10, 11, 12. And if you haven't changed or prepared yourself to do that same old skill when you're 18 or 19, chances are you're going to struggle at the 18 and 19, because your 18 and 19-year-old build and your 10, 11, 12-year-old build are going to be completely different. Same thing happens like if you're 25 or you're 20 and you like go out with your friends. You might not be able to hang out as late with your friends. You may not be able to do it the same. We may not even look at it the same way at 25 as you did at 20, because you mentally are differently, right? So when I'm talking about, I'm using the word confidence, but what I'm really talking about is beyond confidence, right? It's different. It's pretty much everything. If I want to change my life, I need to be preparing before I change my life. If I want to start a business, I need to have a plan in place to start that business, not to just start it, but to make it a success. If I'm trying to improve my standard of living, I need to have a plan in place that's going to allow me to do so. All of those things have to be prepped for. All of it. Right? I know for me personally, and I'll use myself as my example. For me personally, I wanted to change myself physically. In October of 2021, going on a year now, I went to the doctors and I was 200. You can ask away, ask the question. I was 280 plus pounds. And I didn't like the way it made me feel. Tumbling was so much harder. And instead of me saying, okay, I'm just going to train myself, I'm going to go and lift weights. I got you, Ava. For sure, I got you. What I did was I hired a trainer to train me. Give me a plan on how I need to go about this. How do I get stronger? How do I take care of myself better, right? And from there, with that plan, I was able to lose 50 pounds, right? Appreciate that, Ava. So tips on back walkovers and front walkovers, okay? So flexibility and mobility are going to be super duper important. One of the things that I see people struggle with the most when it comes to walkovers is a lot of people focus in on their back flexibility, but a lot of people neglect the shoulders. So the more mobile / flexible the shoulders are, the easier it is to get your hands either in a back walkover closer to the back of your feet, or in a, I got you, in a, my brain shut off. In a front walkover, you want to be able to get your feet as close to your hands as possible. That's going to be solely based on your shoulder and back flexibility. 2, you want to make sure you understand more than just getting your leg up. You have to be strong enough to push and get your hips over your head, almost pushing up into a handstand. That's what allows the front walkover and the back walkover to work. So it's going to be a flexibility issue in the shoulders and the back. So if I was you, I would Google, or you can look on my page. I have stuff on here for both skills. But look up ways to stretch out your shoulders and your back, but also work on the strength, pushing away from the ground to get your hips over your head. Hope that made sense. Let me see here. Someone asked a question. And I don't even know how to get to the comments on here because it's different than Instagram and Facebook. Sharita, can you ask your question again, please? Sorry. Just so I can answer that. I want to make sure I answer that. I know you said something about your 11-year-old daughter, and I couldn't read it. It disappeared too fast. Ava, let me know if that makes sense as far as your front walkovers and your back walkovers go. And Sharita, I'm waiting to see what you're talking about with your daughter. I'm waiting, I'm waiting, I'm waiting. But back, yeah. So while I wait, still on the idea of confidence, man. I've seen confidence change people for the better, or lack of confidence change things for the worst. Right? If you're confident, if you're building your confidence up, got you. Okay, she leveled up to level 4, and now she's afraid to tumble. How long has your daughter been cheering, Sharita? One of the things that I notice or I've seen happen a lot is if athletes progress really fast, what happens is sometimes the speed in which they progress or level up can sometimes overwhelm them, right? So if I'm getting to a place where I move up a level every single year, but what if I'm moving up faster than my mastery is progressing? And then I'm not as confident in my level 4 skills. And then let's say it's one thing to be in the summer, right? Okay, exactly, right? So that's a big jump, Sharita, let me be honest with you. That's a huge jump, actually. So if I'm going into a situation, yeah, I got you. Give me a second. If I'm going into a situation where I've leveled up that fast, she's going to have to get to a place where she feels comfortable and confident in her abilities at that level, right? I personally do not suggest anybody skip that, because if she's only 1 year in and she's already level 4, what skill is she struggling on the most, or what skills is she struggling with the most, or is it all of them? Ava, to answer your question, if I'm dealing with fear, my number one goal is to not try to avoid fear. It's not going away. And since fear is a part of you, you have to learn how to better understand it. So the number one thing I'm doing with my fear is better understanding what I'm afraid of. What am I afraid? What is causing my fear? And the only way that you can do that is you have to explore your fear. Go into your skills. Find out where your fear is at its highest, where it's at its lowest, things of that nature. And if you're doing front walkovers and back walkovers, maybe it's the fact that you don't trust yourself to catch your hands, or you don't trust your hands to catch your body. Do you do bridges from standing? Do you prefer doing bridges from your back? Let me know so I can kind of steer you in the right direction. But yeah, that if she's only been doing this for a year and she's already advanced like that, that's a massive advance. I would like to know what skills scare her the most. And has it always been that way? Did she have level 4 skills before she got moved up? She won't even do the level 3 skills anymore, I think. Oh, I got you. Did she get hurt at all doing her punch front step out? I know sometimes you can hyperextend the knee, doing a punch front step out. Oh, she had the skills. Okay, cool. All right, and how long has she been working on the skills before she started doing the skills? Never fallen. Okay, cool. How long has she had the skills before she got put in level 4 team rather? Also, you said she's 11. 11, 12, and 13 are 3 massive ages or changing of the guard, in my opinion. I've met a lot of young athletes who get like fulls and double fulls around 10 and things of that nature. And then when they hit like 11 and 12, it's almost like they realize, oh my gosh, I could get hurt doing this. Right? Oh, so you struggle with kicking over, Ava? Since last season. So she's had the skills for, gotcha, okay. She's had the skills since last season. So essentially what I would say is she really doesn't sound like she's had whole lot of time to kind of process how much skills that she's dealing with. It also could be now that she's hit an age where maybe hormones are changing. Maybe she's become aware of how, I won't say dangerous because it's always been there, but sometimes when you're younger, you're not as aware of how scary or dangerous tumbling actually is. And maybe she became more aware of it. And if that's the case, what I would do for her is I would really focus in on building her confidence, right? How often does she break down skills? How often does she condition? Is she just naturally athletic, or is this something that she put a lot of work into building? Can you answer that for me, Sharita? And Ava, for you in your situation, if you're struggling with kicking over, what I would do is I would work on glute engagement. I would focus on strengthening my leg extension, meaning from a bent knee position to a straight leg position. That's going to allow you to push yourself away from the ground. And by engaging your glutes, pushing away from the ground will allow you to shift your hips over your head. So those are the things that I would work on if I was in your situation. Just waiting to hear back from Sharita so I can figure out how we can best help out her daughter. Oh, that's what it is. Yep. So Sharita, I don't necessarily know all the details, but sometimes when you are naturally athletic and things happen fast, when everything is going well, it's awesome. But the moment that you doubt yourself as a natural athlete is the moment that almost all, I see this, it's not, tell your daughter it's not uncommon. Let's start there. It's not uncommon. I see this happen all the time. So what I would do if I was in her situation, if I was her coach, I would actually take her back and work on building her back up. I know that's not something that people like to hear, but if she says she loves it and she wants to be doing this for at least a few more years, and she's a natural athlete, she has the potential probably to be whatever she wants to be in this sport. And if that is the case, we want to put her in the best position possible moving forward. And the best way that we're going to be able to do that is to make sure that she solidifies everything and understands what it is she's doing and why she's doing it. You can ask another question, Ava, for sure. That would be my response. Sharita, where are you guys located? Just to make sure we're not like close to each other and I could somehow work with her. I'm going to be on here I'll get off here at 18:30. So I'm going to start doing some work for tomorrow. Give me something to eat so I can get in bed. Birmingham. Okay, cool. So you guys and that's Alabama, correct? What gym are you guys with? Okay, cool. What gym are you guys with? Universal Cheer Experience. Do me a favor, Sharita. Have the owner of Universal Cheer Experience, if you have a relationship with them, send me a message. I would love to come down there. Let's not even do this over live. Let's do this in person. And I would come down there and visit, is what I would call it. And that is it for me, everybody. Not everybody. There's only two of y'all. I mean, not front like I'm like killing the game. But I do appreciate you guys getting on here with me. And I look forward to hearing from you, Sharita. Look forward to hearing from, where's your place? I don't have my own place. I work all over. I am based out of Maryland, though. Hope you guys have a good rest of your week. Enjoy your weekend. And I'll be back on here soon. Peace.